Good morning, folks. Welcome to Deep River Farm. I appreciate you joining me today. I want to jump right on into our topic today, and that's going to be all this flooding that's happened in Texas. I hadn't been around a whole lot watching the news or anything because of the 4th coming up. Been real busy at work trying to get everything done so that I didn't have nothing piled up on the plate when we got back into the office. But you remember me talking about how for about 2 weeks we had absolutely no spraying, way up yonder where that stuff right there hangs around, and we had the prettiest Carolina blue skies and white puffy clouds, and looked just like normal. Well, folks, I believe all that spraying was directed back to Texas. And they've come in and had a massive flood, sort of like not nowhere near as big as Hurricane Helene, but it's killed a lot of people, including an entire children camp retreat. I think there was 23 kids missing. More than likely, it's not going to turn out well because of what's happened. The river rose like 30 feet in just a matter of time. And folks, when they try to convince you that this Charlie Lima Indigo Mike Alpha Tango Echo, and then you have to add on to the word change on the end of that. For those of you new to the channel, that's the phonetic alphabet. We'll go over it again. You take the first letter out of each word and you'll figure out what I'm saying. That's Charlie, Lima, Indigo, Mike, Alpha, Tango, Echo, and then you add the word change on the end of that. You know, folks, if that was for real, they wouldn't have to be doing all this high altitude dumping. We have to change those words around too, because this A Alpha Indigo, you know what I'm talking about, picks up on it, they flag it, and then it don't go out anywhere for people to view because they don't want the truth to get out. So with all this going on, I noticed on Friday, the 4th, was down at the lake, and I noticed way off, I could see them start doing that high altitude dumping again. I said, well, it's gonna rain before the weekend's over with, and here it is Sunday morning, folks, and we got these old gray carpet clouds again like we've talked about, and we're expecting to have chances of rain here today, tomorrow, and everything else. I've been looking this morning in between the clouds trying to see if I can see any more of that stuff being added to it, and as of right now it's just too much of this gray carpet mess to see anything. But folks, all this stuff's being engineered to make you think that CC, we're going to go abbreviate it now, is a real thing. If it was real, folks, they wouldn't have to create it. Just think about that. You know, it's an animation up in the sky, so to speak, a creation when they're using all these chemicals to make things happen. You know, they use propane up there. That's used to cool the atmosphere. Well, when you cool it and you've dumped it into a hot area, you cause instability, and then that creates problems. It can also eat up the ozone. Where are these environmental protection people when it comes to this? They're completely silent, folks. When they're hiding behind their keyboards talking about this CC, and they're letting this stuff here go on, it's causing devastation in the weather. It's causing massive flooding, which this flooding hits these industrial buildings, it hits farms, it hits homes. You have all of these chemicals in these businesses, these homes, and things it dumps into the water supply. which then in turn creates issues for the wildlife, the drinking water for people, the birds, the atmosphere. All this stuff plays into effect, yet you hear nothing from the environmental groups. Why is that? Might want to think about that. They are silent on it. Generally, when you're silent on a subject, you're flat out guilty. Let's just put it that way. You're guilty of creating something for profit, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to sell this thing on a way to keep pushing this green scam energy program, pumping all this money into investments and companies these politicians and these elitists own, so that they can continue to gain control and more wealth. So folks, I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate you joining me here this evening on Deep River Farm, and y'all have a blessed day. Do some information research on your own and figure out what is actually taking place. Have a blessed day.